everybody. Thank you so much. My name is David Donar. I'm a performer, I'm a cartoonist, and I love the music from Louisiana. So I'd like to share with you accordion music from Louisiana. We'll play all types of stuff from New Orleans to Lafayette to Shreveport. I'm not playing right now my piano accordion. We'll talk a little bit about the differences between the different styles of accordions. And that first tune was called The Second Line. And it is based in the tradition of New Orleans music. Parades, people would definitely parade down the streets. And they would parade for Mardi Gras, weddings, funerals, you name it. So the second line refers to when you march down the street, the first line's the band, all the bells and whistles. Second line are the people that might want to play and participate. They play behind them, and they play with drums, everything you can imagine. So it's a real participatory event, and that's what makes Louisiana so fun and New Orleans so great to play. So that's kind of that in the nutshell. I'm going to share with you some of my artwork and some of the insights to it. Can't cover it all. I've traveled throughout Louisiana. I've taken music camps. I've learned from some great musicians and historians. And so we'll shed some light on that as well. Well, let's kick it off. This is a song from Chuck Berry. He was a great rock and roll artist. And this song is influenced by New Orleans. And I think it's a great song to play. And you'll probably know it. It's called Celavi. Was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished him well. You see, Pierre, he truly loved that mademoiselle. When they got out of church, they rocked them wedding bells. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. They had a bedroom apartment, it was a Sears and a Roebuck sale. They had a coolerator full of TV dinners and ginger ale. When Pierre found work, the extra money worked out well. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. Well, they hop up on them, boy, did they let it blast. They had all them records, rock and roll, rhythm, and jazz. When the sun set, the tempo, it really fell. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. They had a Miata, it was a 1993. They drove it down to New Orleans for the wedding anniversary. When he got down there, he wedded that mademoiselle. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. Well, the teenage wedding and the old folks wish him well. You see, Pierre, he truly loved that mademoiselle. When they got out of church, they rocked them wedding bells. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can tell. Celavi said the old folk, go to show you never can. Celavi. Yes. Anyway, so we're going to go into a little Zydeco or a little Creole Dance music. And Clifton Chenier was the king of Zydeco. And really, Zydeco means beans with no salt. But it goes a little further back in terms of all that rhythm and rock and roll that's influenced by it. But I'd like to sing a song by a fellow who was not French speaking. He was an Anglophone, African American, out in Lake Charles. But he played this style of music, and his song actually made a huge commercial success. It made the Billboard Top 40, and it sold a lot of records for him. A little bit of Rockin' Sydney. This song is called My Toot Toot. Don't mess with my toot toot. Don't mess with my toot toot. You can have the other woman. Don't mess with my toot toot. When she was little baby, Dr. Slappy behind. Oh, she was real special. Man, she was so fine. You can look but don't touch. If you do so much, gonna have a bad case. Me wrecking your face. Hey, boom. Don't mess with my toot toot. Don't mess with my toot toot. You can have the other woman. Don't mess with my toot toot. My little darling in a bikini suit. Oh, she's my little baby. Oh, she's a real beaut. I'm a bayou man in the bayou land, rocking out my tunes with the bayou band. Yeah, boom. Don't mess with my toot toot. Don't mess with my toot toot. You can have the other woman. Don't mess with my toot toot. You can have the other woman. Don't mess with my toot toot. Oh yeah, Rockin' Sydney. We're gonna wrap up our piano accordion set with another march, and this was really famous one. Everyone knows this tune. But what you may not know is that during the funeral processions, they would play these long, kind of somber dirges. But then they pick it up and uplift and celebrate the life of that person. So one thing I think it's interesting about that culture is they respect and honor the death and the sadness, but then they pick it up and try to celebrate the life of that person. All right, so this is When the Saints Go Marching In. When the saints saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. When the saints go marching in. When the band, when the band, when the band, it starts to play, won't be in that number. When the band, it begins to play. When the saints, when the saints, when the saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Yes, when the saints go marching in. Anyways, that's the march. It's a sweet song. It's played in many different ways and styles. And you know, I always feel that with that, you need a little march. You need a little horn sections, clarinets and tuba and trombone. All righty, so we're going to go from Louisiana, from the New Orleans side. Let me put this away for you. And on that map, you're going to see, I won't get my hat, we're going to go to Lafayette. And within Lafayette, you're going to see north of Lafayette is the cowboy country. People don't think Cajuns are cowboys, but they really are, because if you look at the map with I-10, south of I-10 is the Gulf, where you have fishing, shrimping, and oil rigs. But north of I-10 is the sugarcane, the cattle, the horses, and both black and white cowboys up there. So let's talk a little bit about that. This is the Cajun box, and it's different from the piano accordion because it doesn't have the chromatic scale. It just has 10 buttons. So it's like a harmonica. Ooh, and I got to pull that back because this gets loud. It's much louder, more compressed. But you push, you pull, it's different tone. So it makes it a little tricky, but I'll talk more about how the Cajun box became part of Cajun music. And we'll talk about Acadia from Nova Scotia. And they all came from France, and they migrated to Nova Scotia and developed their culture there. And then the British Empire came, forced migration for some. They ended up down in Louisiana and found a place with others, indigenous people, African, enslaved Africans, freed black men, Caribbean, all types of Latino culture. It all kind of created an interesting mix. Not to say it was fully harmonious, not to say there weren't troubles, but we'll go into it a little bit more. But what I'd like to do is start off with a little dance song. One thing about Cajun music is dance music. People dance, sing, eat, drink, and have fun, and that's really important. This is called Johnny Can't Dance, and it's a two-step. can dance. That was an upbeat kind of two-step. And as you listen to Cajun music, there's usually kind of two types of beats, the 4/4 or the 1/2 beat, and the 3/4, which is a waltz. And usually at dances, they would play a couple fast up-tempo beats, and then they go into a waltz. And the waltz could be fast or slow, depending on the mood and the tone. And now we will now go into a waltz, and we'll talk about Jolie Blonde. Jolie Blonde is like the national anthem of Cajun music. Many different versions of the song, different styles. And I like the version of Harry Choate. Harry Choate wrote this and released it in the 50s. It was a really hot 45, sold a lot. And I really like it because it's kind of lighthearted. But if you listen to Cajun music, it's bittersweet. Happy things, but sad, sad content. And anyway, so we'll do Jolie Blonde. Jolie Blonde, jolie fille, Chapetit, jolie cœur, ma latine patamali avec non ma chérie fille, dans baie d'Elvision même le. Hey, ma jolie cœur, qu'à te faire, tant pour papa. Tu m'as lit ma chère petite maman, tu sous ma moue. Quel espoir, ma quelle ni ma mouche pour voir. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Chère petite Jolie Blonde, ma petite maman, quel espoir, ma quelle ni ma c'est petite. Jolie Blonde, happy blonde, you made my life miserable as I wander off into Louisiana. Yes, very sad and sweet. We're going to pick it up again and just do a Uptempo Kalinda. And Kalinda's a real popular dance song, and based on an old fable or old legend of a slave dance, a slave who enticed everyone with her exotic dance. And this is, again, I kind of stress that this culture that we talk about is diverse, and it has undercurrents. And slavery was a pretty real thing back then, and it had an impact. So we have to kind of be aware of that, and these traditional songs that come from that African slave culture. It permeated, and people took those melodies and turned them into new songs. So this is Kalinda. This is my version of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Allons danser, Kalinda. Allons danser, Kalinda. Partons tomorrow par là, pas fâché, feel fun. C'est pas tout le monde qui naît, danse le danse du bon temps. Partons tomorrow par là, allons danser, Kalinda. Kalinda was cute as bell in all that bayou land, and all the Cajun boys, they wanna steal the hand. My mama was always there to always chaperone, and when she fell asleep, Kalinda left that home. Allons danser, Kalinda, allons danser, Kalinda. Partons tomorrow par là, pas fâché, feel fun. C'est pas tout le monde qui naît, danse le danse du bon temps. Partons tomorrow par là, allons danser, Kalinda. Yes, allons danser. Let's dance, Kalinda. Now we'll talk about Creole Dance. And what was really important is the French that was spoken in Louisiana was diverse, just as much as the people were. Acadian French came obviously from Nova Scotia, but then the Haitian Creole language was also part of this world. And so it's hard to define words. You don't want to just give people labels, because it's not fair to say this is Cajun or this is Creole or what is Zydeco. It just doesn't really do a lot of justice. And even back then, long ago, they weren't naming themselves that. You were either white French or black French. That was really as simple as they made it. But there are shades of all these wonderful dialects. And even the Acadian language would change from village to village. But Bouzou Chavez was one of the great Cajun box players. And he sang and played some really great music. I went to Ville Platte and saw his records at this really famous record store and got this album, and I really like this song. It's called The Last Dance Waltz. It's in a kind of a dialect. I'll do my best to sing it. It's a waltz, so we'll go back to a waltz time. It's the Last Dance Waltz. Matana hey the mama deba. Oh matana hey the mama deba. Oh matana hey the mama deba. Oh ho deba de dan de deba. Matana hey the mama deba. Oh matana hey the mama deba. Oh, matana, hey, the mama da ba. Oh, da ba de, da ne da bois. Oh, da ba de, da ne da bois. Boozoo Chavez, he'd wear these apron to cover his body from getting salt on these bellows. So that was really an inventive thing, but also very clever in terms of his trademark. Now, a little bit about these accordion. They are diatonic. The Germans made them, and they were imported in the 1800s. So they were easier for the Cajuns to play. They used to play the fiddle. The fiddle was really the traditional instrument at dances. And they found that these were loud and easy to play in terms of what they were doing. So this was, it kind of took over the style of Cajun music. This one's made by Junior Martin. Larry Miller I have one from Larry Miller, and Mark Savoie makes incredible Cajun boxes as well as you can find a bunch of different styles. So the next person we're going to talk about is Armaday Ardawan, who was kind of the grandfather of Cajun music. And this book was authored by Anne Savoie. And Anne Savoie was, she's a historian, a musician, and she did a workshop at the Black Pot Festival that I went to and learned a lot about Cajun singing and the vernacular, how to sing it and the meaning behind it. The Midland two-step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, toi qui t'es tu mon peron, et moi je connais, c'est bon pas irai chez toi, et moi je l'ai, le balai où toi t'y, moi aperçois, t'es papa de mon père moi. Hey, hey, mourez-vous, je fais les, ouais, pour toi, tout est taille, mon chétan, et mon chalet, le balai où toi t'y, moi aperçois, t'es papa de mon père, moi. Midland two-step, Armaday Ardawan, African-American, French-speaking, wonderful artist who influenced a ton of Cajun music. Alrighty, so we're going to wrap up our set with our last song. And this one is based on a traditional Cajun song, but it was made famous by Hank Williams. And if you see the map, we go up to Shreveport. That's where he cut his teeth. That's where he got his first start. And this song is really one of his most popular songs. And I like it because it's got music, it's got food. And that's the thing about Cajun. It's food, music, language, drink, everything. So it's a really popular song, but it's relevant in the Cajun repertoire. So we'll sing, we'll wrap it up with Jambalaya. Jambalaya. Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go, me oh my yo. Me gotta go pull the P-row on the bayou. My phone, sweetest one, me oh my yo. Yeah, son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight gonna see Michelle Rio. Pick your tires, fill fruit jars, and be gay, yo. Son of a gun, have big fun on the bayou. Hey! Thibodeau, Frontenac, that place is jumping. 'Cause tonight they'll see Yvonne by the dozen. They'll dress in style, go hog wild, me oh my yo. Well, son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight gonna see Moshe me yo. Pick guitars, fill fruit jars, and be gay yo. Son of a gun, have big fun on the bayou. Settle down, out of town, get a B-roll. Gonna catch all the fish on the bayou. I'll give Yvonne, no my moan, what you need, oh. Well, son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight gonna see Moshe me, yo. Pick guitars, fill fruit jars, and be gay, yo. Son of a gun, have big fun on that bayou. Son of a gun, have big fun on that bayou. Yeah, merci beaucoup. I appreciate you guys for coming out. I want to thank the Markham Art Council and the Artist Unplugged series for having me part of this. As I say, if you are more interested in this work, you can check out my links to all the references that I talked about. And yeah, I appreciate everything. And then we get safer and travel. I want you to come down and join me down in New Orleans and Lafayette and all places in between. Okay, I'm going to lead us out with a little Johnny Can't Dance, and thank you again.